So this question, who am I now, naturally brings us back to this remembering of what's always present, this vast ocean. But as I say sometimes, that's where a lot of spiritual teachings seem to finish with the discovery of consciousness. A lot of spiritual teachings seem to end at that point. We discover that I am consciousness, and then finished, done. I'm awakened now, and now we carry a new identity around with us. That I am the ocean. I used to be a person. I used to be a self. I used to be a separate me, and now I'm no one. Now I'm the ocean. And really, there's a beautiful truth to that. As this vast ocean, I'm indefinable. I can't be captured in a concept. I am wide open, and I'm not limited in any way. Identity is always some kind of limitation. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. And actually what you are isn't this or that or this or that. It's open to all of it. There's a lovely quote by Nisargadatta Maharaj, and he said, wisdom is the recognition that I am nothing. Love is the recognition that I am everything. So there is wisdom, there is clarity in the recognition that what you are is consciousness, is this ocean, this vast open space, can't be defined. In that sense, you are, as the quote says, you are nothing. You are no thing. You're not a particular thing. You are no thing. You have no fixed identity. You have no set identity. You have no limited identity. So as the ocean, you can't really say who you are. You can't say I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm successful, I'm a failure. You can't say that. As the ocean, you can't say that. As consciousness doesn't say I'm rich. Consciousness doesn't say I'm poor. Consciousness doesn't say I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm right, I'm wrong. Consciousness doesn't say I'm enlightened, I'm unenlightened. Consciousness doesn't say I'm someone or I'm no one, actually. It doesn't say anything. It's this vast silence, this stillness. Just as the ocean is always still, even when there's a storm in the ocean itself isn't disturbed by the storm. Why? Because the ocean is all of it. The ocean is the storm. It's a movement of water. Even the greatest storm, it's a movement of water, so that water can't disturb water. Water can't damage water. So even the most intense wave in the ocean can't disturb the ocean. So in a sense, you could say, the ocean knows itself as all that arises. The ocean knows itself as all of the waves. So it knows itself as the storm. It knows that the storm is just a movement of itself, and that's true peace. That's true stillness. That's true ease. That's true rest. The ocean is always at rest. The ocean isn't trying to escape the storm. The ocean isn't trying to escape its waves. Why? Because it is those waves. It's the ocean appearing as those waves. And this is the fundamental understanding. It goes right to the heart of what awakening, spiritual awakening is all about. And you start to realize it's not about, right, I'm going to become an awakened person. I'm going to try and become an awakened person, an enlightened person. The ocean doesn't say that. The ocean of who you are doesn't say, oh, I'm going to escape these waves and become the ocean. I don't want to become an enlightened ocean, an awakened ocean, because I am already all of it. I already hold all of it. I am already the capacity for all of these waves. So, now we come on to love. If wisdom is the recognition of yourself as the ocean, and the thing is, there are these waves that arise in the ocean. And sometimes I say, consciousness has children. Consciousness has children. The ocean has these waves. And what I mean by waves are thoughts, sensations, feelings, sounds, smells. it's this human experience, this thoughts, sensation, feeling, sadness, pain, fear, bliss, joy. These are all the waves that arise and dissolve in the ocean of you. One of our misconceptions about awakening, one of our myths about awakening, is that we enter into this state where there is only the ocean and all the waves have disappeared. It's an ocean without waves. So we think of enlightenment as some kind of escape from the waves. So what I say is actually all these waves, they're not meant to be escaped. We're not supposed to get rid of them. Trying to get rid of them is like trying to push away your own children. These are your children as consciousness. These are all waves of consciousness. So a thought, a sensation, a feeling, even sadness, even fear, is a wave of consciousness. It's made of consciousness, just like every wave is made of the ocean. It's all water. So it may look like fear, but in essence it's consciousness. It's consciousness dressed up as fear. It's consciousness dressed up as pain. It's consciousness dressed up as doubt. It's even consciousness dressed up as a longing for consciousness. That's how ingenious it is. It's everything. Consciousness is all. It's all of it. Consciousness isn't behind the waves. The ocean isn't behind the waves. This is a really important discovery, because otherwise you start thinking of consciousness as something that's just behind everything. So that's still separation, actually. That's still detachment. It's kind of, in a way, it's still a pushing away of life. It's like, that's sometimes what we think of enlightenment as, get rid of, push away thoughts, push away sensations, push away feelings, and just become this detached consciousness. So that might be, an important part of the journey for some people. In a way, it's a kind of a stage. It's something that people sometimes go through. I know that for a while that was my experience. I was very detached. I became very detached. Nothing can touch me. Detached from thoughts, detached from sensation, detached from feelings. But actually, it became quite numb. I became quite numb. Like I wasn't really living. And then at some point there was this, in a way, there's this longing to live again. To in a way, it's like a longing to allow all of your children again. Because this is what I say these days. That it's like your children just want to come home to you. Thoughts, sensations, feelings. They just want to be met. They want to be allowed to be here. And so there's this very important discovery of yourself as the ocean. And some people talk about that as an end point. That is awakening. But actually, awakening has children. Consciousness has children, and there's no end point. There can't be an end point to you. There can't be a conclusion to life. So now knowing yourself as the ocean, that completely changes the way you see life. That's the end of seeking life. That's the end of seeking, knowing yourself as that which you have always sought, which is yourself, which is who you really are. That's the end of seeking. What you are is the end of seeking. What you are as the ocean is not seeking anything. It's not trying to become anything. So knowing yourself as the ocean, now there's this knowing now that every wave that appears, every thought, every sensation, every feeling, even if it's very intense, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a very intense wave of fear, now on a deeper level there's this knowing that wave is only yourself. It's only made of yourself. It's the same substance as you. And that's why it's so lovable, because it's made of you. And that's the deeper meaning of love, is just this inseparability. It's made of you. It's not fear coming from outside of you and attacking you and then moving on. It's not thoughts coming from outside of you and bothering you and then moving on. That's how we might see it. It's not, these waves don't come from outside of consciousness. They are expressions of consciousness. They are you in disguise. So knowing yourself as the ocean as no one, in a sense, knowing yourself as no one. Now that's the clarity. The love is this recognition that whatever arises, whatever thought, sensation, feeling, even very intense sadness or bliss or doubt, these are not enemies. These are not blocks to your awakening. These are not impurities to be destroyed. These are not imperfections. These are your children. These are your children. And so we're always visited by our children, thoughts, sensations, feelings, even doubt, even fear, even sadness. These are our children. So in pushing them away, we're pushing away our own children. In denying them, we're denying our own children. So that's another way of talking about awakening. We can talk about awakening in the sense of remembering who you are as the ocean. Or we can talk about awakening as this constant meeting, this never-ending meeting of your children, thoughts, sensations, feelings, and knowing them as your children, knowing them as yourself, and not turning away from them anymore, and not pushing them away anymore, and not denying them anymore.